Right, welcome to the final Waikanae Community Board meeting this term of council. We're going to just start, it's going to be a bit of an unusual meeting because we've got a few unusual things that have occurred, and we're going to start not only with the karakia from Carl Weber, but he's going to do something quite special for us to honour the tradition of this 111-year-old hall, which he gifted a beautiful car to from Kapiti Island, which is in the foyer, and we wanted it right at the beginning, so as you leave, whenever you want to go, you'll have a chance to see this beautiful rock and the story behind it. So I'll ask Carl to do that. You're welcome to have a look if you wish, but we stay with you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Michael. Good koutou. It's honour to be here tonight. It's a very special meeting for us. Thanks for joining me. And no, I think I'm right. You guys can hear me, eh? Yes. Yeah, sure. So yeah, we brought a Paetu Mauri over from Mutungara Island, which is at the south end of Kapiti. That's where Michael signed the treaty. And yeah, we thought that was a great connection to here. This beautiful I haven't seen the kohatu one well, so I think that's going to happen after that. What I thought I'd do today is that Dalton's here, cousin Dalton's here today. My te reo Māori is a little bit rusty, so I worked at karakia especially for this night and for our kohatu Māori, which will do for my heart with us, and we'll probably do something with that there too. So we're going to tag team that one there. Jordan's got some whakapapa here. How's that going?
Oh, well, my great-grandfather, Alan Ringi Papadoris, was a part of building this, and his name's up there too.
Oh, kia ora. So that's why I asked Jordan if we can tag team our karakia. And this is what we came up with. We're going to have a go.
Right? Te karakia mo tēnei ko hapū Māori o te karakia te Māori style. You've done it, Tūturu whakamaua kia tīna.
Tīna.
Haunge ui e kohatu tēnei no te wā hia kai no ngā hau e kainga o ngā mutu ngāna o ngā Māori o te moana o te Māori o te whenua kua waka hunohia i konei ki te horo. E ngā iwi e taunai, e ngā mana, e ngā reo, ngā titua, te kaha, ngā tiawa, te rere, ngā ti raukawa, te whiwhinga, te puna, mā tauranga, tūhononga, mai o koutou wairua, hei pupuri i te mana o tēnei tāona. Ko te tuahapa o te tūranga no konei punu no one o te koro i tukuna atu hei whakanuia, hei waka tū, hei waka pākari, hei waka mana. I tēnei ware, i te āpuri, i tēnei kaupapa nui. Tēnei kohatu, he Māori, hei pau, herenga, hei pau waka maumahara, ki ngā tupuna, ki ngā waka tupuranga, kua wetunga hia mō tēnei wā. Mō apuko, mō ake tonu atu. Kia u ki te whenua, kia māpori te wari, kia kaha ai te āpori, kia kotahi ai te whakaara, kia horo ai marimo, kia wakapapa paunamu te moana, kia tere te kāro ka maua, kia puawa ngā kaupapa. Mā tēnei Māori e tau, mā tēnei Māori e ora, mā te ware o te hore e tuku, e hiawa, tūturu, whakamaua kia tīna, haunge, hui e, taore hui e.
Kia ora, Jordan. So, from guidance for Long, was the musical Janet, favourite karakia and amongst that one there. And Koro always liked to tell people what we were saying. So I did an interpretation of this, I decided to do that interpretation. When we started off with Tutu Whakamaua Kia Tīna, Huie, Kaikia, which is our opening and closing to affirm and bind the purpose of us as a karakia together. He kohatu tēnei no te wā, hiapia, Mona hau painga o Mutungarara. So this is a kohatu, stone from the ancient times, from the ancestral winds of Mutungarara. And just acknowledges the age and the depth of the kohatu and the motive that's been installed in that one there. Ko te mauri o te moana, ko te mauri o te whenua, kua whakanuhia, ki konei, ki te horo, ki te horo, sorry, the life force of the ocean, the life force of the land has been given a face here at Tiko. It speaks to the origin of the kohatu from the island of the sea and its new home here at the land of the hall. I ngā iwi taunei, Muscat honours our three iwi here, and the key strengths to each Ngāti Toa, strength of force, Ngāti Aowo, that flow fluency, and Ngāti Rauko, the acquisition and the spring of knowledge. It asks the spirits of our iwi here to unite ngā whakamana of the stone. Ko te tūpapa, ko te tūranga, no kone tonu, the foundation is the stand that's been made for our kohatu here, comes from here, comes from Te Horo, it has got for this. And acknowledges that, gives thanks for the gifting of that one too. Tēnei kohatu, he mauri, he poheringa. So it's a mauri, it's an anchoring post, a memorial to the ancestors and the generations who have passed on, and it connects the stone's purpose to the legacy of the people, which I thought was fantastic for this, for here for Te Horo. Ki ute whenua, kia rohi te whare, so may be firmly grounded in the land, may the whole be strong, may the community be strong and united, and a blessing for the whole, and it's what that was about. This your opening, Michael, and mā tēnei mauri, e tau, by this mauri may it be calm, may it be well, may the Te Horo flourish and prosper, and it's a final invitation for peace, vitality and growth. And I'd like to finish off with the karakia, and again, Don is always about love, aroha, and being together. So, Te aroha, te whakahoro, me te rangi mai e tātou tātou e. Thank you.
So I'll ask the chair of the society, Brian and Deirdre, do you want to go over with Carl to do the unveiling, and we can start? Brian hasn't seen this yet. This is in the foyer. No, we can do that. Thank you.
When you fellas go out, touch the mauri, because the thing that allows your mauri to stay here. And so touch the kohatu before you go out.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Carl. We've got a couple of unusual things to say, so I just want to take a minute. We've got all stand in honour of Harold Thomas, former Waikanae board. Community board member and former Waikanae councillor. So we're just going to have a minute of silence in his honour, who passed away just a week ago. Unusually, we've got two board meetings on tonight, one in Waitaki and one here in Waikanae. Oh yes, thank you. And our mayor's here, and I think our deputy mayor's here as well tonight, so I just want to acknowledge that they're here. And our mayor, Janet, Horo wants to make a little statement before she zips up the road to participate in the community board's final meeting for this spring. Thank you, Janet.
Two final meetings tonight, but I want to thank each board at their last meeting for their work this triennium. We really have been a team of 31 on this council, including councillors and community board members. I'd like to acknowledge Deputy Mayor Lawrence for his support with kind of the kaitiaki and the kuitahitanga that's happened with our community boards. I'd also like to acknowledge the support of Chief Executive Darren Edwards, who's here tonight with that money as well. So, but a huge thanks to the Waikanae Community Board and the Clip-On Board, our Councillor Jocelyn Pivano, who is dedicated to the board, even though we're only allowed through our governance structure one representative on the board. Jocelyn has been a great support to the board and has contributed as well. But thank you to all the board members and the appointed Waikanae Councillor, Nigel Wilson, acknowledging Richard for his service as chair for I think just over half of the 3 years, and Michael for your service as chair since. Michelle, thank you for your work over the past 3 years and your contribution, and Tonchi in his absence. I'd also like to thank the council staff for their support of the board. It's been wonderful how the board has got out into the community into different spaces like this beautiful hall here, and also in Waikanae and other locations. And that's not easy for council staff, so I'd like to acknowledge the time you put in after hours supporting the board. It's absolutely wonderful, Kate and Brendan. And thank you for turning out to these board meetings and bringing your issues to the board. They bring them back to council and they lobby and advocate for the community of Waikanae, and Horo tirelessly bringing recommendations to the council meetings, sending emails, and they really work hard on your behalf. But that's because you come and you share your concerns with them. And so I'd like to acknowledge the contribution that the whole community of Waikanae has made to this board and its work over the past 3 years. It's certainly been an active and a very effective board. So I just want to acknowledge a couple of highlights. Of course, this wonderful hall. It's been wonderful how the community board has supported this hall, and it was a pleasure to be able to support in a small way through the mayoral fund as well. And just congratulations to the Te Horo Association for the enormous amount of work that's gone in, and Crow Construction and Carl Fuel support with Tikana, and of course to Nigel. And it's just great that council is now going to bring forward the car park and provide some car parking so that people can access this hall safely. And that's going to happen in this next financial year, because in recognition of the success of this hall really, and how many people are wanting to do things here and use it. So it's really wonderful. That's being shared through our Everything Carpooling newsletter, which has just gone out, or just about to go out in about 5 minutes, and you'll be able to check your emails and know that that's going to happen. So that's absolutely fantastic. The other big project that's happening in Waikanae right now is the Waikanae Library, and I'd like to really acknowledge the work that the board put in terms of engagement on that and support for that project. Really, the board has played a crucial role in making decisions about what's best in that facility for the Waikanae community. And there's so many other things that have happened in Waikanae and Te Horo, the beautiful murals at the beach, and so many other things that have been happening across the community, which I'm sure Michael will talk about. But just a massive thanks to you for your work. Also, just one more thing, the community board members in this triennium have all had an opportunity to sit at council or committee or subcommittees, and they have all taken up that opportunity and represented you very well at those in those forums. So thank you for that, and I acknowledge, particularly for the chairs, the chair and deputy chair, that extra time that they put into that. That's not recognised by the Remuneration Authority. That's completely voluntary, and they do that on your behalf and contribute strongly at the council table to make sure that the voice of Waikanae is heard. So thank you for the work that you've done. For those of you who are leaving us, all the best, and for those of you standing for election, all the best. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. I'm going to run away and thank all Taki now.
Councillor Nigel just passed me a napkin. Usually I think Basil Spencer or something like that had to draw a building in Wellington 45 years ago. Anyway, I just want to acknowledge the other people in the room tonight. The Mayor's already mentioned, but welcome Darren Edwards, our Chief Executive, who is a Horo resident, but he's across the middle white line on School Road, so he falls into the old Taki ward, so he can't vote for him at this side. So welcome Darren to this lovely hall. We've got Martin Halliday, the Councillor for Paraparumu, is here. Carl Weber, of course, who's on the Paraparumu Community Board. I don't know who else we've got here. Oh, and Lawrence, our Deputy Mayor as well, Lawrence Curry. Thank you, Lawrence, for being here. Have I missed anybody? Probably not. Right, into the business proper. I'm going to call for apologies, and we have received one apology, and that is from Tomchi Benovich, who's not here with us tonight. We're going to move straight into minutes. Do you want to move? Okay, we need to move the second. You're going to move them and second us on the apology? Yep. Okay. All right, thank you. We're just going to ask for any declarations of interest for any items on the agenda from the board members tonight. No? Thank you. Right, we're going to move straight into public speaking. Since the Mayor has already done her bit, we're going to start at the top, and I think is Brian going to be our first speaker? Right, Brian Hall. Come on up, Brian. Do you need a microphone or not? Probably not.
Yes,
Oh, you do? Oh, yes, sorry. So, yes, I should have mentioned that. We have Ian Carson from Otiki Today recording tonight, and Dave, it is, from Waikanae Beach recording.
Good evening, everyone. So, Janice kind of made my little chat very relevant and very short. So I'd like to, one of the key issues that we've been campaigning on as a whole society for some time, I won't say how many years, has been the car park and the lack of a car park here and the lack of safety. So to have the announcement from Janet that it's been brought forward and it's going to happen next year, the next fiscal year, is fantastic news for us. And I'd like to thank Michael, Jocelyn, the Waikanae Community Board, and Janet for listening to us and actually acting on it and taking note. And also Sean Ballon, who's not here, who's responsible for open spaces, I think, on the council, who's worked alongside us during that time. It's a tremendous move forward after 33 years to have that public commitment to get a car park here. And I know the community of Te Horo is going to be ecstatic as that news breaks around the community over the next week. Thank you.
If anybody doesn't want to be recorded, just shout out before you stand up if you are speaking tonight. Our next speaker on our list is... Okay, so Bruce Edgar. And it's got a note here, he was just inducted into the Sports Legions of Wellington last week. You might have
Kia ora koutou. Thank you for that, Michael. My focus tonight is to talk about the Eruini development or proposal. And we're here to, as a group, we're here to ask questions and advocate strongly for our community. And let me touch on one district-wide objective from the current plan that I believe calls for some clarification. Under DO03, Development Management and Plan Change 2, one core policy states, and listen to this, higher residential densities and locations that are close to centres and public open spaces with good access to public transport. What does close to centres mean? Are we really going to pretend that 5 kilometres from Waikanae or about 10 to Paraparaumu Central actually qualifies? What does high density mean? Because it certainly doesn't say high density, it implies that increases in density that are incremental, balanced, sensitive to current communities, a development that adds value, not chaos, benefiting one-time profiteers at the expense of long-standing residents. For Waikanae Beach, that might mean 2 or 3 units per property, an increase of 100% or 200% in density. Is that reasonable? But 500%, 800% or more, that's not high density. That's an assault on the character, privacy and function of this community. Did anyone on this council stop to ensure the policy intent was being followed? Or are rules now being misinterpreted to serve developers at any cost? The impact on this community speaks volumes. Building in a flood hazard zone, elevating a flat site while isolating it from everything nearby, compromising amenity and privacy. Where are the schools to support this growth? Where is the accessibility that's promised in your own policy? I'm sorry, but this does not fit into the framework you've laid out for development management, and calling the impact less than minor is outright disingenuous. Well, we hope it's not. To our councillors, you don't have to wait for the rules to change or hide behind them. If you believe the system is wrong, stand up for us. Represent your community. Push back and listen. Decisions that retract your ability to protect areas like Waikanae Beach are unacceptable. We need councillors to take a united stand against outcomes that cause irreparable damage. It's not easy to stand up, but if something is fundamentally wrong, fight it. How can elected officials sleep at night knowing their actions are contributing to dysfunction? Now I've got that out of the way, I actually want to give some credit where credit's due. Mike Moore, as chair of the ward, thank you for your steadfast support. And for raising our concerns, as Mayor Janet said, directly to council. Councillors Jocelyn Barnoff and Nigel Wilson. You both voted against Plans Change 2, and rightly so. You don't shy away or hide. Not here tonight, Councillor Rob Coford. Your expertise as an architect has made it clear that alternative designs can be pursued. You also voted against Plan Change 2. And finally, to all of you here tonight, congratulations. Your passion, your tenacity, willingness to fight for what's right is inspiring. And that unity speaks volumes. Thank you. Kia ora.
Thank you, Bruce. Next speaker is Lucy Cameron. Lucy, do you want to use the microphone?
Can you hear me okay? Teacher, please. Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Lucy Cameron tukuinga ingoa, ko Kapiti ahau, o Waikanae e noho ana, kei te kura o Waikanae e mahi ana, he kai o ahau. My name is Lucy Cameron, I'm from Kapiti, born and bred, I live in Waikanae and I teach at Waikanae School. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight, for the first time. I'm here to talk about the proposal, the proposed Eruini Street development, but also the wider issue of how development is being handled in Waikanae. Like many here, I love our community and want to see it grow the right way. So over 2,000 people have now signed a petition opposing the current Eruini proposal. That's more people than would fill the Waikanae Memorial Hall several times over. This is not a handful of disgruntled neighbours or NIMBYs, as some like to call them. This is a clear and united community message. People care deeply about what's happening here.
This is not about being anti-housing or anti-change. It's about ensuring development is well planned, sustainable and respectful in the existing community. Right now, that's not happening. Imagine stepping outside on a sunny day to hang out your washing, but the only sun you get lasts about 20 minutes before it's blocked by a towering wall. Imagine losing your privacy in your own backyard. Imagine your garden becoming a dark corridor overlooked from above. Privacy gone. The sense of home diminished. These are not abstract concerns, they are lived realities residents will face if this proposal goes ahead. And we've seen how this plays out elsewhere. Just this month, a High Court judge in Auckland overturned a council decision where a development was approved on a non-notified basis because experts claimed the effects were less than minor. The judge found that that was wrong. The effects were absolutely more than minor and the neighbours should have been consulted. Sound familiar? This is exactly what Waikanae residents fear, being told effects are less than minor when we know they are anything but. It's also important to look at the big picture. Waikanae has 2 primary schools and 1 secondary school that they feed into. Our medical centres are already stretched. Hospital care means long trips to Wellington or Kenepuru. Sporting facilities and parking have been under-resourced for decades. You just have to go to the netball courts and know that. Adding medium and high-density developments without addressing infrastructure is not just unwise, it's unfair. Sorry, dry mouth with nerves. As this is not just about Eruini Street, concerns remain about Utota Street, around the Karewarewa Urupa debacle, the other partner Cook development in the Garden Trail area, and around other developments like Arahireke, still empty and unused. Arahireke was supposed to be tied to the development of Narara similar to Ferndale, but instead it's left a scar in our landscape. Poor planning doesn't meet housing needs. Everyone thinks it's an eyesore, and eyesores that many people still can't afford. With local elections approaching, these issues matter. These choices will shape how people vote. Residents want representatives who stand with their communities, not with the developers. How many of you right here now feel a sense of worry every time you see a for sale sign go up? If you're not right now, you will be. That's the kind of uncertainty this process has created, anxiety, stress and unease that lingers. But what has also become clear is just how strong this community is. We are united, we are resilient, and we will not stop standing up for what's right. So, tonight, I ask the board, and through the council, to listen carefully to what the community is saying. We're not giving up. We will continue to raise our voices until the message is heard. Development in Waikanae must be sensible, sustainable and shape of the community, not imposed on it. We're not against growth, we are against bad growth, and Waikanae deserves better. We will demand it. I hope you're ready. Ngā mihi nui.
Ask questions as we go, or should we just take these through first? Do you have any questions for Lucy? Well, no? Okay. The next speaker is Robin House. Thank you, Robin. Do you want there's a microphone if you want to use one?
No, I don't think I need the microphone. Tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I actually wanted to start also by just acknowledging the work of the board members and council members for Waikanae and thank them for their service. I mean, I know it's not easy taking on a public role. It can be quite a thankless task, so thank you. You might not think it, but I'm actually going to talk about Eruini Street as well. I'm from Waikanae Beach. And it's the end of the triennium, as Mayor Janet said, and it made me think about why people would stand for council or for the board, and if they did, what qualities would they need? And I sort of thought that people who stood for those sorts of positions would want to serve their community. That should be a given. They should be aware of and hear the concerns and issues of residents. They should listen to those residents with respect. They should take an objective view of things. They should be unbiased and declare any conflicts of interest. They should make decisions based on evidence, and they should communicate with their community clearly and often. And I think that's a fairly fair set of principles for anybody to want to stand for council or the board. I'm sorry if I sound a bit preachy. The Eruini Street development is a case in point, where all the above should be front of mind for council and board members. And I thank, as others have, Mike, Nigel and Jocelyn for their support, encouragement on the Eruini Street issue. It's an outstanding issue, as you've already heard from two speakers, because it highlights the strength of community pride in Waikanae Beach and its character, or vibe, however you want to describe that. The tsunami of groundswell support shown by over 2,000 signatures to that petition, objecting to poorly thought out, misplaced development in the beach area, demonstrates how the community wants a say in how Waikanae Beach develops in ways that are sympathetic to the local social, physical and cultural environment. The Narara Road development is another great example of local community pride, and I would almost say love for their local area, and of their need to be heard regarding the direction that local development takes. In that case, the residents were steamrolled by a lack of consultation and input. Fortunately, the Eruini Street people found out soon enough to be able to make a bit of a noise, as you know. But getting back to Eruini Street, we've had great support from the board members, thank you, mentioned earlier. They've lived up to the principles a board member should operate under. On the other hand, there's been one board member who has, for some unknown reason, chosen to attack Bruce Edgar on a personal basis and share his nasty, aggressive comments with others. There's no way that person should be anywhere near a community board. And I'm really disappointed that Mr. Begovic is not here tonight to hear that, because I have emailed him telling him what I think, and he hasn't replied to me. So I'm disappointed he's not here. So that's all. I hope I haven't been too preachy. I'm talking to you tonight as an involved resident, and I'm really only trying to remind anyone who stands for office where your responsibility lies, and that is to the community. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for letting me come on and speak to you. This is about sharing concerns, and I have a concern that the KCDC do some very good work, but this issue is vital, and it's been vital since 2012. I came to Waikanae to build the railway up to the railway station there, and my wife spent 10 years at the railway station. So, and I've had 55 years in construction. And currently I'm at Transmission Gully as the supervisor, so finishing the job. So it gives you some idea of my background. What I want to talk about is the rising main from Waikanae through to the sewage treatment plant at Maizagate. It was first proposed in 2012 because they could see that the existing main, which is only a small main, wouldn't cope with the growth in Waikanae. I went and did a OIA and asked questions which I knew the answers of, and got a very truthful answer of what was happening with it. When I was, and this was all brought to me when I worked for NZTA during the construction of Mackay's to Peka Peka. And a very concerned person who was close to council said, hey look, we're building this sewer, but we're going to have to dig up the road when it's finished to put the connection across. Of course my answer was, well, that's not going to happen. And the reason why they had to do that was because they didn't have funding to go through at that time. So I took it to the chief executive of NZTA, Jeff Dangerfield, and he took it to the board, and they can't fund local authority infrastructure, but they were able to lend KCDC money to fund it at that time, which was to be paid back. And I guess it was. The concern that I have now is that the job's not been finished. So the pumping of the $4 million pumping line has all been put, the line has been put in except for 300 or 400 metres, which runs past what they say a cultural area. So it's been stopped by the iwi. They put an alternative route in, and that was stopped by them as well. Okay, so and then I got it confirmed on my OIA that it will stifle development in Waikanae because there will be a situation where we just can't put any more sewer in. Now, if that sewer also fails, there is no way that we can handle it because there's no alternative. And that means that they'll be having trucks pumping out of a pumping station down and driving down to Paraparaumu to take the sewage away. Okay, we've got to get it finished. So I was promised that it would be finished a year ago, and it still hasn't happened. I'm concerned. I rang somebody today to find out, and I hope it's been finished, but I believe the information I've got is that it wasn't. Now, 3 years ago, at election time, I made the same little speech, and I was told that it was NZTA's fault. But in fact, it was not NZTA's fault. They did everything they could, and the sewer was going to go down the services corridor, and as I say, it hasn't happened. I'd like to ask, or informally ask, when, from these people, rather than write another OIA, which I'm going to do anyway, and I'll get it in writing, I want to know when it's going to be finished. Or have we wasted $4 million, and are we going to stifle our design?
Peter.
Yeah, development. Thank you.
I think there might be some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I've communicated with Peter about this, so I think this needs to be put under a matter of action and that we get an urgent response. I agree with you, Peter. I think everybody needs to know exactly what the state of play is. Where are we at? It's not a blame game or anything, it's just about finding out where we're at and what's the process from here. Because you're right, 2012 is a long time ago, right? Yeah. So we can do that under a matter of urgency? Yeah.
And I'm very happy to help on any way that I could to do that. And I've got lots of information here that has been extracted over the years of timelines, and that will all be forwarded to Nigel and the community board so that they've got the details too. I didn't want to stir it up, but it needs stirring up as well.
Thank you. I think there's a question from
Any questions? Yeah?
So thank you. I have a copy of one of the information and requests that you sent in. Did you receive an answer to that?
I got an answer to the OIA. I don't believe I've got any other answers since then.
And did that not satisfy you? And did it not say that it had been, it was actually going to be built or is actually had been built?
Did you say it has been built?
No, I'm saying did the information that you provided say that it was in progress or that it had not been built?
That it has not been built.
So you could get an update, yeah. So we'll get an update from Sean Bell.
Yeah,
that'd
be good.
From Brendan and get directed back to you.
That'd be good. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Steve Howard. See? So we've got on the screen for you. If you need a microphone, you're welcome to use mine or not. Welcome back, Steve. We need a regular chair.
Right, 3 minutes is already through. So this is about the Waimanu Lagoon automated weir, which was installed about $1 million 13 years ago, and it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for about 12 years at least, maybe the whole time. But this first slide I'm putting up, the red areas show the catchment of Waikanae Beach, where when it's raining, all the water in that catchment finds its way into the drainage, the culverts, the upper lagoon, as it's labelled there, the lower lagoon, and then finally down to the weir where it feeds into the river. A very large area. At the moment, the weir is supposed to be maintaining the lagoon at 1 metre above sea level. It doesn't do that. When we've had heavy rains, we've observed it, neighbours have observed it going up to almost 1 metre above that level. So, in the current district plan, all the sections that are in blue and all those other colours, they've got some kind of flood hazard annotation on their certificate of title and their limbs accordingly. So all those people are affected by the weir not working properly. There was a Thomas report done for council, Thomas Engineering, in December 18, page 4. They confirmed there that the high performance of the weir means the Waimanu lagoons will not be flooded in a design 100-year ARY flood. The available flood storage will therefore not be used. Oof, look at it. And then on page 7 of the same report that we paid, I think, about $75,000 for, on page 7, because of the new outlet and the Waimanu Weir, flooding of the Waimanu lagoons due to local stormwater is no longer a significant threat to surrounding private property.
Yay.
Fast forward a bit. In an email that I got via Mike Mendonça when he was on the council back in October 2023, Sean Mellon concludes that, and I quote, "If we're unable to resolve the weir performance issues, then we would need to prioritise its replacement against other stormwater works as part of the current long-term plan." What? $1 million? It doesn't work, just fix it. The day after my 22nd of July briefing to this community board, I received an email from Sean Mellon banning me from any further communication with Tony Martin, the office manager, or any of his staff. So that's a cool way of engaging with stakeholders. In response, I asked Sean if he would at least agree that the weir is not working as per the resource consent. He advised he wasn't even going to do that until he gets reports from the staff, probably in September. We're in September now, whitebait season, so nothing's going to be happening down there while the whitebait season's on. 4th of August, I submitted an information request for a copy of the report done by Cuttress Consultants on their survey of the weir structure. They were there with lasers and things. During the recent maintenance period, when the structure was dewatered and the weir was lowered to the floor of the chamber, Cuttress were able to make a couple of measurements. My bell's gone, but I'm trying to hurry this up. The 2 spots that I've highlighted show that the floor of the channel, now this channel is 2.5 metres wide and it's about 2 metres high. You can drive a car through it. The 2 spots highlighted show that the floor on the channel on the right hand side is lower by 12 millimetres. So as the gate rises, it will tend to lean to the right as we're looking at it, and it does so enough to crush against the right hand wall, stopping the movement of the gate. This may be the primary problem. To verify a complete survey as per the Waimanu installation procedure, pages 22 to 27 if anyone's interested, if the floor is not level and straight as specified, remediation of the concrete will be required. Replacing the bladder might not fix it. I'm getting near the end. I and my team of 2 retired professional engineers now conclude the concrete floor variation is the likely cause of the 1-ton gate being off-centre and frequently jamming against the channel wall. Fix the floor and the weir gate should swing freely and it's designed after travel. During those repairs, and it's getting a bit technical here, sorry, on reinstallation of the gate, the restraining straps can be adjusted as per the installation procedure, they're not at the moment. The water level sensors can be calibrated, because they're not working correctly at the moment, and a computerised controller can have its full functionality checked and calibrated. Wonderful. On completion, the $1 million automated weir should operate as described in the resource consent. Cool. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Steve. Right. I think we'll have some questions. We don't get off that lightly, nor do we. Councillor Wilson.
So Steve, in terms, because you guys are engineers, right? So in terms of being able to level that, do you have any idea of what sort of cost or time? Is it a major to do that?
It will be significant because the gate will have to be lifted out. I have heard some of the staff talking, when I was allowed to talk to them, talking about removing it anyway to put the spare in. Now, if they're going to do that, they might as well measure the floor, make sure it's all within tolerance, and if it's out of tolerance, get someone like concrete doctors or one of these firms in to level it off. It wouldn't take much to one side for it to be straight. I can't guess at the cost. I don't know where the lorry might guess. But the first thing I'd like to do is, next time the water is low, get in there and do precise measurements, rather than just rely on that little bit of a survey that was done by Cutters. We've got no other alternative, because if the concrete structure is suspect, any other work is a waste of time. And to talk about replacing it is just throwing the whole one down the street.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming on again. I don't know how many times you've come along to talk about this matter. I know at the last community board meeting there was some requests of staff to investigate this. I made an inquiry last week, and it's my understanding that a meeting is going to be planned very shortly to sort out what the plan of attack is. So I'd like to hope that you would be informed that that is actually going to occur, and when it does occur.
Appreciate that very much. Thanks,
Thanks, Steve. Are there any more questions? Thank you. All right, we have two more speakers, three actually. Steve Marion, is it? Manny. No, come on. Do you want, or you want?
No, good. Thank you. So I'm a resident of Eruini Street, and I just wanted to kind of tell you my perspective. I bought our house 2.5 years ago, saved money for many years, was thinking about Waikanae Beach because I love Waikanae Beach. I've loved it for a long time, since I've been in the country. Obviously I'm American, folks. But I wanted to talk about the community, the street, what we are trying to do that I feel is for the benefit of Waikanae Beach, for Te Aro, for communities up and down the Kapiti Coast, is try to fight for what is right. What this developer is trying to do is going to cause a lot of grief. It already has. I wouldn't be here if this wasn't happening. You heard Lucy talk about how people are concerned about other vacant lots, and it's causing stress. And I just feel that there's a lack of leadership from the council. You know, I could go into PC2 and how I feel about that and how it came about, and but I won't. I'm just going to focus on my street. My street's become like a tourist destination. I don't know if you've all been down it, which is good. We're doing the right thing. We're here. We're talking. We're trying to get the word out the best we know how. We're just average people that care about our street. We care about Waikanae Beach, and we really want to see some fairness, and we want to see public notification. This was sprung on us. I don't know how we found out about it, but it was definitely didn't hear about it from the developer, or the council, or anyone else, and that's just not right. You're plonking a huge development in a quiet residential street away from schools, away from transport, in a flood zone. There's just so many things that are wrong with this. It's unbelievable. So I just wanted to get up. I was able to speak. I signed my name. That's basically what I want to say. And we need leadership that is accountable for some of these decisions that were made. You know, we could go through, Labor brought this PC2 up, that we have council members that had a choice, you know, in my opinion, that, you know, are they going to stand up to central government? Are they going to be an independent council? And some were, some weren't. There's some councils, Auckland, Christchurch, they pushed back. They got exemptions. Our council didn't do that. It's upsetting. The people shouldn't have to be putting up signs down the street and doing this grassroots movement to bring this effect. There has to be some responsibility all the way down the line. Not naming anyone specifically, but there's a lack of responsibility, and yeah.
Thanks, Steve. We've only got 2 more speakers, but I think it's the appropriate time now. I just want to make a statement on the development as far as the information that Everett has before them. So currently, Council's consent team have made no decision on this development in Eruini Street. It's still being reviewed before the consent team. And I, on behalf of the board, and I'm sure all of us, want to thank everybody for their activism and their communication on the subject. It hasn't gone ignored. Darren is in our audience tonight. He's listened loudly, as all the elected members have. So I just want to assure you that no decision has been made yet, but your noise and your comments have been taken into account, and that's the status currently with that application. Okay. Oh, yes,
sorry, I had a question. So I would have put it to Steve or Bruce or Lucy or anybody else. That has there been an association that's formed? The point of that being that the Eruini Street is unlikely, in my view, to be a standalone. As you say, there are Narara. There should have been some learnings from Narara as soon as we did the chainsaws and beautiful trees coming down. And there are a number of vacant lots at beach, so that should be a massive cause of concern. So I was just wondering, in terms of a collective view, if there is some group that has formed, or is there a prospect of a formal group? Because it just makes it much easier, I think, to be able to communicate directly if there is a representative group. So just something to have a think about. If there isn't one, to have a think about it. Thank you.
So I'm just wondering, because I know when the Waimanu Weir and the Regional Society had their annual general meeting, that a lot of members came along to that. I don't know whether you've become part of that or not, but they make a lot of submissions to council, and they've got some very good members who are very au fait with what is going on in central government and local government.
If I could just add to your comments. It's been guerrilla warfare for us. We've literally had to respond to something that was just presented to us by chance by one of our neighbours finding out about this, and we had a meeting the next night. So the community, Eruini Street, Whitmore Road, gathered around and said, we've got to fight this. And no one else is helping us. And in terms of a central hub, yes, we've just set up a Facebook page called the RAG, Waikanae Residents Action Group, just to sort of get it out there. But we've been doing it in other ways. But for us, we've had to respond as quick as we can. The Waikanae Beach and Peka Peka Society do some outstanding work. Most of the people here have actually been to that meeting as well and probably signed up. So that's probably something that we need to consider too.
But I have to add, why should we? Why should we have to?
Well,
why can't?
Quite right.
And we will do it. Obviously, I've told everybody we're going to. We're not stopping. Why should these groups have to form? Why can't council listen? Why can't they look after us? I don't get it. I don't get why we have to be so...
I've received numerous communications from potential councillors and current councillors, including the Mayor, that say that they don't agree with this particular development. In fact, are shocked by it. In fact, I had a meeting today with a potential councillor on Eruini. But in those emails and online discussions, all of them throw up their hands and put a but at the end of every piece of communication. And they say, I don't agree with it, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's central government. The council's got to get off their bum and go down there and sort it out.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate your passion, your vigour and contribution. So we have 2 more speakers tonight, and we're going to talk about something nice. from the Te Horo Hall Society. We're going to welcome Jenny and Judy to talk about returning after 5 years or 6 years, isn't it? The Te Horo Garden Trail comes back to Te Horo in mid-November. Come on up.
Yeah, well, thank you, Michael. I'm Judy Wood from the Hall Committee, and Jenny will be here with me, Jenny said. Mine was just suggested we come along and do a quick update about what's happening. As Janet discussed, we've finished stage 1 of the hall and we're now moving into stage 2. Because we want to complete the renovation of this hall. So the next focus for us is recladding of the exterior and replacing some of the old windows and doors. And we're expecting that to cost more than $250,000. So we're back in fundraising mode, I'm afraid. We've had a few events, but we just want to highlight one tonight. And that is the garden trail. Now we know all you Waikanae people are very good at your garden trails. So we haven't had a garden trail in Horo for 6 years, and for us it's quite a significant fundraiser. So we just want to highlight that. That's the first point. The second point is I would like to thank the Waikanae Community Board who gave us funding to help develop and pay for the printing of our promotional material and so on around the trail. And thirdly, a specific thank you to Michael. He's had quite a few tonight, hasn't he? But Michael has given freely his time to actually design the layout and design these promotional materials, the brochures and the signage. So thank you very much, Michael. That's his contribution to the fundraising effort. So we're just raising awareness of this event that we're having in mid-November. Jenny,
this garden trail as a result of the money that you have given us from the community board for the last meeting, I think it was, to do all the publicity for the garden trail. There's 6 people on our committee working on it, and it's quite a lot of work actually. But we've now produced the signs. Thank you very much to Mike's artwork and the brochure. So the brochures are here for you to take away tonight if you like some. It's actually live now on our website, so you can buy tickets to it now, but it's in November, and it should be quite a nice day out or 2 days out for you. So thank you, and we've got tickets as well.
I'm just going to add, Jenny just said the tickets are for sale on the website, it's now live, but also the 5 garden centres up the coast are selling tickets for us as well, so we've just distributed tickets to them today, so you can go to a garden centre to get
Palmer, Harrison's, Horo, or Garden Centre, Watson's in Otiki, and the Garden Depot in Manukau.
We expect people to buy tickets tonight. Right, we're moving along. We don't have any deputation tonight, but we're going to have Asher Wilson Gordon here from Goldman from the Predator Free Company, but unfortunately his wife has got some illness and he couldn't come along at the last moment. So we're going to move into any members' business. Is there any announcements for any members' business tonight? We're not going to do it now, individual business. We're going to let Brendan deal with that request earlier. Is that acceptable, Nigel?
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. So we're now going to jump into kind of wrap-up mode. We've only got 1 or 2 grants to do later, but since it's the last meeting of this 3-year council term, I've put a few notes together on some of the highlights. And following this, it's merely some bullet points in it, and after that I'll ask if any of the board members want to share their own observations. I'll have things I'm sure they'll want to contribute as well. Then we've got 2 little updates. One is on the Te Ara Whetū, the new rebuild of Waikanae Library, and the Waikanae Skate Park. We're going to give a bit of an update on that on the screen. So I'm just going to list a few things here, in no particular order, that we've either been involved in, advocated for, or been proud that it's happened in our in Waikanae and Te Horo. So, we've seen in the last 3 years things like the Waikanae Memorial Playground being redone, the Mahara Place Playground for younger tamariki, the substantial renovations up at Rikarangi Hall, not only the hall but the playground. Anybody who's been up there in the last year will be enormously impressed that renovations have occurred. The tennis court resurfacing down at the beach, putting the basketball in half court. Waimanu domain seating. We had a replacement of chairs. I don't know if that's a notary thing to mention or not. We're really proud to be associated with this historic 111-year-old building here, this tahonga of our district. It's not council owned, and nearly $500,000 was raised by the wider community under the leadership of people like Andrew Anakin, who's here with us tonight, and the wider community committee here at Te Horo, and a lot of them are here tonight, so we can't ignore this enormous work that's come here. And we gave a grant at the end of our financial year, and end of June, so the lovely, is Matai for, is it? That's going to be redone after the garden trail, because all the garden trail people make a mess in here, so we're going to do it after there, and that will happen then. We've seen the Waikanae water treatment plant being rebuilt and reconstructed to bring it up to spec for our current population. We've done a lot of beautification and some support for down at the Te Horo beach, including the big murals that we commissioned with Sean Duffel and Swift Matters. If you've not been down there, that's featured in we've reused this garden trail brochure as a cell of Te Horo, so it's even mentioned in there to go and have your lunch down there while you're on the garden trail. The team of Trevor and Calvin's team in council really brought that together a year and a half ago, and it's now a whole venue. It's a nice picnic area and phenomenal. This is not it, by the way. We have got some pictures up here. LGNZ, Local Government New Zealand, recognised that work, of that beautification work, including wider environmental work along the Te Horo Beach area. Our capital improvement fund allocated just around about $120,000 towards the community. This is not a fund of council money, so don't get concerned here as we go into election. We're privileged as a committee board to have a fund which has been here since before Harold was around, and Nigel will know this and Jocelyn will know this well. And we protected that fund for everybody, so we spend the interest every end of the financial year. We've seen Toi Mahara open right at the very beginning of this term of council, the district gallery. The clip-on was added on to Waikanae Bridge for much consternation, why people had to divert down the expressway for too long, it seems. We gave establishment funding to the Waikanae Business Association, followed now by the Otaki and Te Horo Business Association, which happens kind of on this side of the river. We've given substantial grants through our term to the resident associations in Rikarangi, Waikanae Beach, and up here in Te Horo Beach. We've seen clearing of the Nahara stream in the Waikanae River mouth. We supported the earthquake strengthening of this hall here. We funded these lovely curtains and the heat pumps, and we've given money towards this forum, which is going to be redone, as I mentioned earlier. We've supported with Andy Mackay's team in council the riparian planting along the Mangagoni stream mouth. There's been a lot of other work that board members have been involved in outside of their regular meetings. Michelle was on the Farazan Reserve Focus Group, and the Waimanu Lagoons Focus Group. Was that your one? Or was that Todd she was doing that one? And we've also, right, and we've been sitting on some council subcommittees of the risk and assurance with Richard, and social sustainability, and Jocelyn's chairing of the climate and environment committee, of which I sit on too. We advocated for a better bus service that goes between Waikanae and Otaki, and for some months, if not longer, it was diverting onto the expressway and avoiding and ignoring Te Horo entirely. We've still got work to do in the new term to advocate for that bus service to better serve our rural community. So that's a few. Oh, and the last note I've got on here, we in our Rikarangi meeting about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, we had quite a deputation from the local constabulary and talking about the issues around our antisocial and boy racing community. We've been doing a bit of work with that in the background. It's not something I've done a lot of noise and publicity about, but there has been some really good progress in that space. That said, I've asked if any board member would like to say anything that they would like to share, and maybe we start down this end. Do you, Nigel, want to?
Yeah, so there'll be highlights and lowlights depending on what the outcomes are. So Eruini Street there's an opportunity for that to be a highlight of this community board's advocacy and council's listening to a really substantial voice of the community. So we'll find out soon, hopefully, if that is a highlight. I hope it is. Narara Road was an appalling lowlight for me. So we just need to be aware of those sorts of things. The work on the Eruini Hall and playground was, I don't know if you guys venture up there, but it's superb. It's just brilliant. It's a kind of a historic hall as well. And the work that's been done on this hall, and God, how many hours did you put in, mate? A lot, right? Over years, and your committee and everybody, so it's just a fantastic achievement. And this will be here for another 100 years, right? So, so fantastic. The community is responding really well. I'm pleased that the community board's been able to assist as much as it can.
Great. Thank you, Nigel. Richard, do you have anything?
I'd just like to highlight the work that's been done to get the Waikanae Library to Arawhetu to the position it's going to be. Tomorrow there's a blessing of the site and the work will start reasonably soon, I assume.
Excuse me, can you speak up a little bit?
We'll give you a microphone.
Right, I have to say it all again. I just wish to highlight the work that we've done and the community has done on getting the Waikanae Library to the position it's in. There'll be a blessing of the site tomorrow, and then the work will start almost immediately. That came about because the community wanted a library. They were sick of not having a library for so long, and we all agreed with them, and we got into the council offices and we stopped them going for grandiose ideas. We said to stay within your budget, and they agreed with us, and the council got on board, and we're going to have a library within probably a couple of years, which from when I came into this setup, that didn't look likely at all. So I think it's something that the community would be quite proud of, the noises they made, and the fact that we listened and were able to pass those noises on too. So I think that's my highlight.
Great. Thank you. That's what you do.
So my highlights are recognising all the volunteers that I've worked with during the 3 years, particularly those who've got really strong scientific backgrounds on Tourism Reserve focus group, who also require some additional support in the next triennium. Obviously with the Reserves Act out for consultation, there's going to be some changes, so I encourage everybody here to provide feedback on that consultation document, because we want to preserve our reserves, I think. I also want to recognise all the young people that we funded. One thing that stood out for me was Alana Reardon's speech to us 2 meetings ago, and I would love to encourage more young people to come and talk to us, because at the end of the day, this is money that we're invested in the community for them and their future. I can't go without mentioning those 4 yellow lines, Gus. They're going to keep everyone safe down there. I want to also thank people who stood up against liquor stores, who knew legislation about how vaping stores and how close they could be to Marais. It's really important to know our legislation. Thanks to Team Waimanu Road Residents Association, who campaigned tirelessly for the pedestrian crossing. We've got one. It's taken over 20 years to get that crossing. May there be another one before I retire. And finally, we recently, as a result of Narara development, there's obviously the Waikanae Garden Freezer Protection Society. They've got set up to protect that area. And I'm going to give them a plug. I am the chair. The AGM is on Saturday the 27th of September at the Waikanae Bowling Club at 2:15, which is 45 minutes before a 3 p.m. meeting of potential members for the next election. So please keep an eye out for those notices around, and if you want to attend, do, or turn up at 3 o'clock and question those people who are standing next time. Yeah, thank you all for being really proactive. It's great to come here to Horo and see so many people. You've always just really stood together, so thank you all.
Jocelyn is not a member of the board, but she has been incredibly active in participating too. So Jocelyn is the other ward councillor in Waikanae.
Oh, the clip-on?
The clip-on, yeah.
So I suppose I just wanted to acknowledge all the activities that this board has done, and I know that I've been involved in some of these as well, but I also want to acknowledge the work that occurs in behind the scenes, all those conversations that we have with individuals when they come to us, when they have an issue and we try and resolve them. And no doubt that is the same for all the other members here. I have one highlight that I'm going to talk about initially, and that's actually the clearing of Narara Stream. So this stream is, if you travel between Waikanae Beach and Pika Pika, it's the stream that is parallel to Rutherford Drive. So in 2021 there was a major rain event, and it precipitated a lot of flooding from basically the Waikanae Golf Course all the way up to Pika Pika. That took a year and a half for that to be cleaned out, working with KCDC and GW. And when it was cleaned out, the water level dropped 1.5 metres in the stream, literally overnight. It took probably 6 months to drain after that because it was so waterlogged. As a councillor, and as has been mentioned, I'm the chair of the Climate and Environment Subcommittee and or Committee, and one of my other highlights has been representing KCDC on the Kapiti tour. And this is actually, it's a GW1 run process that we spent 18 months of very intensive time. There were community members and our 3 iwi involved, looking at how we can, identifying what the issues are with our water and looking at ways to improve it. And at the next Climate and Environment Committee, there's going to be an update on that. So we love living in Kapiti, but there's still room for improvement. And I think if our waters are healthy, we're healthy as a community as well. So I thank the board for allowing me to come along to these meetings and to have my say when I can't have my vote. And I wish you all the elections coming up.
Thank you. So we've got only a couple of bits more of business, and what we're going to do after we finish the short presentation, we've got one grant application to consider. In fact, there's another one where I think we're going to let it lie, or talk to the board about that. Afterwards, the Horo Hall Committee are kindly going to put a cup of coffee and tea and some nibbles on for us. So if you want to stay afterwards and talk and see the lovely kahatua here, good night, Darren. Thank you for coming along. And I should acknowledge Glenn Olsen has just arrived, who's the chair of the Pararuru Community Board. So welcome, Glenn. I know it's a long way away from your village. Sorry? Oh, Bede Larissey's here as well. We got all the heavyweights here. That's extraordinary. Bede's had a haircut, so it's really nice that he's come out to Horo tonight too. Right, okay, so we're going to have, we've got 2 updates here, thank you folks. If you do want to leave early, you're welcome to. We're going to do 2 updates now. One is on our new Waikanae Library build, which, as Richard just mentioned, is going to have an early morning blessing tomorrow to start the works. It's not 2 years away, I'm told, and we're going to hear more detail right now about the new Waikanae Library, Te Ara Whetū. It's going to be open by December next year. Is that correct? Oh, well, I heard it was going to be. I must have figured out too. Anyway, you're back. Oh, I don't know, there's a dog up here. Is that your dog, is it, Kate? That's Kate's dog, by the way, everybody. What's his name? That's
Alice
our-
Doubledine.
Anyway, Brendan Owen is our group manager, and he's going to give us a bit of talk about the Town of Whetū update and the Waikanae skate park.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Yeah, so I get to talk about two awesome projects that are coming. That's not it behind me. But before I do, just quickly, just a couple of kind of acknowledgements or updates. Ryan, car park, where are you? Yes, it was Sean. Sean's the GM infrastructure. He's on holiday. Someone claimed a credit for the car park decision in the last day. Because he would do the same if I was on holiday. Steve's just left. Steve Hollett, and an update from Sean on the Weir is that we're always going to absorb the information and then come out with a decision or a plan kind of in September. Sean's away this week, so there'll be some comms coming out next week or the week after on the plan for the Weir, and all the information that we receive from Steve, we do consider. So that's just an update there. And Bruce, congratulations last week. We were all there in the crowd at the awards night. And just to reiterate what Michael said, we are listening. We're listening, and no decisions have been made. So, so just stay tuned on decisions for Eruini Street. So, just a couple of quickies, and then just to reiterate what Josh said about in terms of the highlights. One that was spoken about, but not was Kui Tikatai. You know, the work that's been done on the Waikanae River. It's leading, and the Jobs for Nature project that was transferred to Aotearoa is one of the best Jobs for Nature projects in the country, and I think that's been a massive highlight of the work done on the island. So congratulations to everyone involved there, Doc, us, GDUD, and all iwi. So I think that's been a really major success. But today is about Te Ara Whetū, and so yes, tomorrow, like Richard said, we this is going to be interesting. We are having a blessing on site at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 7:45. So come along if you like. That kind of signals the start of this work, and it's going to be awesome. The work is starting. So there's work starting next week on the asbestos removal. And that contract's kind of separate to the main build, but we can kick that work off next week. It's going to take a few weeks. We currently got the detailed design and want to show you a fly-through very shortly, a nice kind of 3-minute video. It's pretty exciting. That's been peer reviewed at the moment, and then hopefully in the next week or so we will have the final costs. We went through an ECI model, and so we're pretty confident that the dollars will match what we predicted, a little while ago. So we've been working pretty closely with the contractors. We're pretty confident that it will come in on budget, and so we're expecting that contract through, those numbers through, I'm going to say, the next couple of days. And those who tuned into council last week, we can sign that contract and start with the work. And like Michael said, Christmas next year is probably when we'll get the keys. It'll probably be another month or so, being Christmas, to practice, have a play with the library before we open, but we're planning to get the keys to the building late next year, December, which is exciting. So the next slide is the fly-through,
That's an awesome one.
Do you want to take control?
There's no sound of it. So that's over the town centre. You'll see the marae, Te Aotearoa, and we're carrying Mahara, straight ahead, library. Yep, Toi Mahara on the left.
The Studio Pacific Architects have been won the award to do this. We've done some really significant work across New Zealand. So we're really quite proud of that part of this project. Good part of this.
I'll see if I can talk to it. So this is the main entry. You'll see Tuamata across the other side. Bit of an open area, bit of a hub. There's another door here. Above, you can't quite see, but it's a nice void with plenty of light. Concierge desk over the side there. It'll be similar, different to Karaparaumu in terms of how it's operated. It'll be part service desk too, and so you'll be able to inquire about your rates. Our staff will be able to support. This is the children's area. You'll see all the books are on wheels, and so we can push those to the side and have events. This is the backyard. The service lane down the back. Couriers. So one of the big changes with libraries now is, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but through the membership model, you can rent books from other libraries essentially right across Wellington. So one of the biggest costs, and one of the big changes with libraries now is we are handling a lot of books from other libraries, and so courier access, offloading books through the back and onto our shelves or into for you guys to pick up is a big part of the design now. Up on the second floor, there's a community hub on the other side of that void there. You'll see through the glass. A couple of meeting rooms down there on the right. Small, large boardrooms. This is kind of the workspace. Nice view down the Horo place. We go up to the top floor. This is kind of a bookable space, this one. A bit of a landing. Kitchen out the back. Kind of a conference space, 2 rooms that can be divided with a nice deck looking across the water. So that's the library. So the pop-up, which is Public Library at number 9, the plan is to keep that going until pretty much the day that we transition across to the new one. So that'll be going until later next year, and then we'll switch across. So that's the fly-through. There's a couple of kind of before and after pics here. Top is the before, below's the after. Both looking up from a Horo place. There we go. At the front, yes. Yep, that's the plan. It might need to be moved for the construction phase, but the plan is for it to stay.
Are the conference rooms available for private conferences or just the?
Yep, anyway, yeah.
Probably be having a community board up there occasionally too, I think, won't we?
It's a great spot. So I can't remember the numbers, but I think it should be able to seat about 80 to 90. But sit-down meals probably around 30 to 40. So there's a kitchen space up top. There's a room to prep, and so we can do the lot up there. Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if we call it a commercial kitchen, but there's enough space to heat food. It won't probably be prepared on site, but it's designed. The size is designed. It's big enough to be able to prepare food and serve it out. So I don't think, strictly speaking, it's a commercial kitchen, but there'll be ovens and that to warm up food.
So you're going to publicise the fact that the rooms are available to rent out?
Yep. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's still 18 months away before we open, but that'll be the plan. Yeah.
Presumably the costs will be in line with other room rental costs and other.
Yeah, although upstairs is quite different. We don't have an offering kind of like that at the moment. But the idea is that the rooms will be structured similar to other rooms. Yep.
And if I could just make one comment from looking at that flying through. Beautiful build, looks lovely.
a champion of books.
Absolutely. And still, I mean, it does, it shows the start treaty that there's more space than there is books. And there's a library first and foremost. I get the hub bit, but that's my biggest disappointment. So, one of those we've got a library.
Right. Thank you, Lynn. Right.
So the second update is just the skate park. Right. So pretty topical. Was it this time last? No, it wasn't. It was the previous community opinion. So we're charging ahead with the new skate park, or the new Waikanae park completely. And so just the kick-off, there was some work done, I'm going to say 2 years ago, pre-me, on the whole master plan of the site. So not just the precinct that we're focused on at the moment, but the whole of Waikanae Park, and all that information that was captured a couple of years ago has been used to inform this. But in terms of the Waikanae Park update, we have appointed a lead design, that's Waimanu Weir, and for those in the know might know them, they're fairly popular around it. If you read the post a couple of weeks ago, they did that work. I think it was Dear Gully, the postcard kind of piece of work on the future vision of Wellington City. And they've also done work on other skate parks, most recently at Avalon Park in Lower Hutt. So they've been appointed. We've got Convict on board, who are specific skate park designers and builders. They are streets ahead of any other skate park builders in New Zealand and Australia at the moment. So we're pretty stoked to have them on board and that they could fit us into their schedule. They've worked with Waimanu Weir quite a bit in the past, so those two together have been fantastic. And in terms of a community engagement point of view, we've already had one session with the community. We had a design workshop specifically on the skate park with the skate community a couple of weeks ago, and I've got some pics on that too. What have we got there? So we're expecting some initial concept designs by the end of next week. So that'll be the overall design of the precinct. So we're talking the skate park, the play area, the market area, and the car park. So we're expecting that next week. And at the same time, we'll have more detailed design for the skate park. Convict, who are the skate park guys, they will continue their community engagement work on the skate park design and have planned workshops with a whole raft of groups, including the local school, starting the 16th of September. There's a few of us at the market on the 27th of September just to socialise the whole design, and then after that it will go out to the whole community like anything else does through Have Your Say on our website, so anyone can get involved on the design of the whole precinct and the skate park. So make sure you stay tuned or drop into any of those sessions that we're having. There's just a pic there of the recent work we did with the skate user groups. So that was a whole range. That was bikers, that was skaters, that was scooterers, a whole raft of groups. And you'll see there on the right hand side, and we kind of knew this, what some of the most important features are to retain in the skate park. I don't know any of those features. I don't know if there's any skaters in the room.
You know Nigel though.
So that's just a pic there. That's it. So that's the precinct that we're talking about. That's what's in scope. So no decisions have been made yet on where everything's going. That's kind of one of the main focuses for the architects at the moment. There are one of the bigger pieces of feedback that came out of the consultation with the skate park users was the challenge shade and leaves have on the skate park up the top there, and so we need to figure out the right location for the skate park, whether it's there or not. I'm not too sure yet, but there'll be some ideas come through later next week. There'll be a basketball court or half court and a set of toilets too.
Will the Waikanae market still have a place?
Yeah, so that's not changing. Yep, that location's not changing. That's it.
Great. Thank you, Brendan. Right. Brendan is our staff member who usually doesn't talk this much in the meeting, but thank you very much for that update, and it's going to be exciting, hopefully in just over a year's time, the end of next year. We might be sitting on the top floor of Te Arawhitu, our new Waikanae library, with lots of books around us. Then you can bring some, and you'll be here for the presentation of the cup of tea in the non-commercial kitchen. So there you go. We've got one final thing to really do. We do have some matters under action to look at, but I'm going to suggest to the board that we might take those as they are, because they're going, unless there's anything pressing amongst those. But we'll take the grants out, of which we've got 3 before us, but one has been withdrawn. The second one on the list, and the board members have seen these, I think we would be declining that as a matter of course, because what it's been asked for to support in the public space, which is no longer. The board's happy with that course of action. We then just would consider the one grant before us for Elena Reardon. Alana's asking for $500 to compete in the scoot, which we gave her a year ago, to go to the Scooting World Champs in Japan in November this year. And she's been triply involved in this new skate park build at Waikanae Park. We're really pleased with Alana's contribution there. So, if I can move that from the chair, everyone in favour? Do you have a second for that? Oh, Michelle, thank you. The last grant will approve of this triennium. All in favour? Good, carried. That's the last grant we are going to do. Do we need to make the other ones formal that we're not going to, we decline and the decline one? So I'll move that we'll decline that one for the collab, the Captain collab. Do we have a second for that? Richard, second that, all in favour? Yeah, all right, thank you, Kerry. Right.
So, what was the issue with the orchard?
They withdrew, because they don't want the money now.
Yeah, the orchard's deferred there. They want to get their grant for the Waikanae orchard. If anybody hasn't been down where that is, it's in behind your old house, you know, until the season wants to.
So just a purely question, and I apologise for not knowing this, but when's the next community board meeting? When is there a date?
9th of December.
9th of December.
There we go. Who knows who'll be on it? Yeah. All right. Well, that being the case, is there anything pressing under our matters under action that the board would like to raise? If not, I'm happy that we take that record that's been presented to us on the agenda as a record of where things are at.
Well, just in terms of matters under action,
yes.
Adding in Peter Gibson's
yes. Yep.
So it's kind of taken.
Brendan's taken a note of that.
Yep. And Steve Howlett similarly is what he's raised. Because
it's already on the
matters under action.
Yeah.
Until December.
That's right.
People won't want to not book their back. And presumably also there will be a process by which people from Eruini Street will be able to find out what's going on.
Thank you, Roger. Right. That said, we're on the tail end before we get the jug out. And we're going to approve. Well, I just want to do something before we get to the final minutes. I want to acknowledge, in no particular order, actually we'll start from the left to the right, and Nigel. Nigel, the highlight for me in the last 3 years, and it's not his highlight, but he was caught in the middle of a road in Waikanae with 60 full rubbish bags, because after months of asking the weeds to be cleared out of the medium strip, Nigel got rubbish bag after rubbish bag and filled them all. So I think that deserves acknowledgement tonight. And I've gone through all these boxes and taken out the strawberry chocolates, by the way, but this one's for you. Richard. Richard, besides his managing a whole big shopping centre and all the rest of it, who chaired the board for the beginning of this triennium, Richard's role in making the only community board in the entire Kapiti district move around and go to the community shouldn't go unnoticed. You know, we've been up to Rikaranga, we've been down to Waikanae Beach, we're in Te Horo, and people will love that. You know, nobody else has done that. And we had great joy, and it's also worth saying, and Nigel and Jocelyn and Michelle will all know this, that the Waikanae board meetings are the biggest and the most frequented by a mile. And I'm not exaggerating, but and that's a testament to Richard's tenure of getting us out there and into the community. So you also get fun without the strawberries as well. For your contribution, Richard, there we go. Right. Michelle has been like a rock wheeler on Te Waimanu Road. Nobody has done much advocacy about trying to get some things done on, and since we've had the expressway built, Te Waimanu Road has turned into an incredible thoroughfare, and we still haven't done what we need to do down there. But Michelle's worked with locals there and driven reports and banged the table for so long, and we still need to do a lot more traffic calming and pedestrians safe along that. It's really notoriously busy arterial road in Waikanae. So thank you for all your work, Michelle. Right. And Councillor Clip-on, Councillor Branoff, who has deep roots with this area in Te Horo. The Catleys are up on this board up here on the hall there, which are your forebears. Jocelyn also, when the fundraising for this lovely fundraising for the earthquake fencing, Jocelyn almost walked on every of the country walks, and as a lot of us had done, and I know the whole committee have appreciated Jocelyn's advocacy in a number of things that have happened in this hall, which is dear to my heart because I live just down the road towards the beach. So it hasn't gone unnoticed, and thank you for your contributions around this. I think it's well done.
I say this meeting culminates 21 years that I've been a member. I started on the Waikanae board in 2004.
These community meetings don't come about without good staff, and we've been blessed in our area of having Kate and Brendan, who joined us only a year ago, maybe a bit more, sorry. Kate puts everything together behind the scenes. She listens to all the emails and shares it with us, and the amount of work that goes on in deciphering and helping us out and giving us legal and administrative governance support is extraordinary. So Kate and your dog, thank you so much for your contribution to us all. Now, Brendan, you don't live around here, do you? Not here, no. We're going to sort that out, but anyway. Look, your steadfast leadership with us and helping us and taking phone calls and all kinds of crazy hours and listening to us all. And helping us pursue issues that are important to our community is really being invaluable as well. I want to thank you for your leadership and your support to all of our board members, and including our two councillors here too. So thank you so much. I think that's about it. So we're going to agree to do the minutes.
I could say something nice about you and throw the chocolates back, but no, that's not easy. It's not easy being the chair of a community board, as Richard will know, and Michael knows. So it's appreciated. There's a lot of work goes on behind the scenes, and the liaison between the councillors, council staff, etc., to make sure that these things run smoothly. So, and Te Horo has been has disproportionately done very well, as somebody said. So, Michael, we should thank Michael for most of that. Cheers.
Right, we're going to approve the minutes of our last meeting. So, the any issues arising from the minutes that we're approving tonight? Fantastic minutes tonight. So all in favour of the minutes as they against? Yes. I think Nigel moves them, maybe, and Richard seconded them. Good. But, okay, That being done, this committee board will be rising on the 11th of October. Best of luck in your choices. I'm not going to influence you either way, it's up to you. Thank you for your participation, but keep it coming. We're still in office until that time, and if you've got issues, and we're all quite accessible, please get in touch. And thank you for bringing everything together that you have. And I want to thank the Horo Hall Community Committee who are here tonight, who have got the jug on, and so please stay around. And please, if you want to read the lovely notice that Deirdre and Carl have put together for Kaito in the foyer, please do. And I'm sure some tickets are available and on the website of the Horo Garden Trail in mid-November. Thank you very much.